Hi everyone, I'm Ben Welsh, your head golf professional back here at Frost Creek, continuing our little spring video series. And if you stick around again at the end of this video, we're going to continue on that bouncing a ball on a wedge theme, find some fun stuff to do around the golf course. So today I want to get into a little bit the difference between chipping and pitching. That might seem a little pedestrian, but I think it's good stuff to start thinking about as we get back into golf for the springtime. So again, just a reminder, I'd like to sort of define the difference between a chip and a pitch. And really, I think some people think of a chip being shorter and a pitch being longer, when really I would define the difference as a chip being lower and a pitch being higher. And taking that into consideration, it is often that I have sort of a longer chip, but just where I want the ball to stay low and closer to the ground. Or even a shorter pitch where I might have something to go over, pitching it over a bunker, or even a short pitch that might be just over a sprinkler head or something like that. And even into, say, the green running away from you where we want the ball to land a little softer. We might need to get a little elevation under the ball to have it have a little bit more spin and stop a little more quickly. So just a reminder of sort of your basic setup things for chipping and pitching are going to be just putting our feet a little bit closer together and making sort of a simple motion. I like to choke down to the bottom of the grip, and in your basic chip we really want to go almost to a putting stroke where we're going to rock our shoulders back and forth, and you'll see that there's no hand action or wrist action here, right? So none of this, all of this. So if I take that with a club in my hand, we should see this triangle between my shoulders and my hands stay the same, back and through. Okay, very simple motion, and again with a chip being lower, the idea is to get the ball on the ground and rolling as soon as possible. So I'll go ahead and hit a couple. This is 8 iron. I like to chip with 8 or 9 iron, and again, here for ball position, since we talked about that last time, I'd like to have the ball, say, right between my feet, or maybe with if I want to keep it real low to the ground, a half a ball width or so back toward my back toe. Okay, so very simple motion here. Ball comes out very low. Okay, nice and simple. I'll hit one more here. Again, pay attention to that lack of wrist action. There, just like a little putting stroke, okay? Now, as I get into more of a pitching motion, the only real difference is that I think of it in a real simple sense. I'm not going to change much, but I'm going to start to add what I call hand swing. So in the chip, we really keep our wrists firm. In a pitch, I'm just going to soften my grip and start to let the club work a little bit in what, like I say, hand swing. So again, I'm not talking about, by any means, we don't want to get wristy, or we all know that we could have some bad stuff happen. If you tend to blade it or chunk it, that's often a sign of too much wrist. But as we start to want the ball to come out a little higher, we need to add a little bit of feel and to let the club swing down and under the ball, okay? So maybe see if you can see a little bit of that here with this pitching motion. Okay, now I have switched to a sand wedge, so the ball should naturally come out a little higher, but I'm just gonna lengthen the motion and add a little bit of hand swing, okay? I'm gonna turn the camera down the line a little bit so you can see that trajectory difference. We'll talk a little bit about one more adjustment that you can make. Okay, now we've turned the camera down the line here a little bit, so I'm going to review just a little, and hopefully here you can see that trajectory difference a little bit more clearly. So I'm switching back to an 8 iron here and going to go to that chipping motion. Now I know you can't see the ball position here as to where it is between my feet, but my feet, I've got my heels almost touching and my toes spread apart just to give me a little base to stand on. Choking down to the bottom of the grip here, and again that sort of pendulum putting type stroke with no wrist action here, and the goal in that chip is to get the ball to come out real low. So hopefully it's below that black square in the net here, and we can make some nice easy little chips here. Now you'll see that they come out very low and probably gonna kind of skid along the ground, and we can judge the distance to the hole more like we can a putt, hopefully reading the green and getting the ball to roll in there nicely. So I can make a lengthier, we talked earlier about a sort of a longer chip. Let's say we want the ball to come out low, but we've got a lot of green to work with. So I can lengthen this motion, but still not have much wrist swing or hand swing. And so let's see if I can make this one longer. I'm going to chip it a little bit harder, but still hopefully have it come out nice and low. There, maybe hit right at the bottom of the net, but you can see that one had some steam on it, but it's also still coming out very low and going to hit the green and roll. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to change clubs here to a sand wedge, and I want to point out that we can still chip it with a sand wedge. Now, if I still have that lack of wrist action or hand swing, the ball's going to come out higher just by the nature of the loft that we have, but it's still going to be a fairly short or a fairly low chip. So they're coming out below the logo, and by nature of the loft, it's going to have a little bit more spin on it, but it's a real simple chipping motion. Okay, now if we need it to come out a little bit higher, or maybe to carry a little farther, I'm going to add that hand swing. And again, I'm not sure if you can see it from this camera angle, but let's see what happens as I add that hand swing. What happens with the trajectory here? All right, coming out a little bit higher, maybe moving a little faster, but now it's starting to hit up there in the middle of the logo. We'll hit one more here. Fairly consistent right about the logo or the top of the logo. And now here's the thing I want to add is that we talked last time about ball position, and although I've got my feet fairly close together, I'll turn this way so you can see it. Feet real close together. Now if this is the middle, right, for sort of a chipping motion, we can start it in the middle, or with pitching, it can be in the middle and add the hand swing. If I want to chip it real low, I can move it toward my back toe, and you'll see my hands further ahead of it. And now if I want to start to get it a little bit higher, I really need to carry it over something, or that green's running away, I really want to put some spin on it, I'm just going to shift myself so that the ball is more up here off of my front toe. You'll see it add a little bit of loft to the club, and hopefully the ball comes out a little bit higher. Okay, so now let's try that. Again, I know you can't see the ball position, but it's here off of my front toe. Feet are pretty close together, and now we'll just add a little hand swing. There, you see it come out at the top of the net. Okay, so again, if let's say we really want to get one up in the air, but nice and soft, see if we can get it up in the top of the net again. And maybe one more. I might make a little bit longer follow through here, see if I can get it to go even higher. Okay, so again, little adjustments that you can make, taking a fairly simple motion, but getting an entirely different result, either by the club that you use or the motion you make. And hopefully these little useful shots around the green will help you get it a little bit closer and get it up and down more of the time. Okay, everybody, welcome back, and here it is, homework time again, as we're going to continue on our theme, bouncing that ball on the wedge. So hopefully by now you've been able to scoop it up off of the ground and find some rhythm, maybe bring it to a stop on the face and start that again. And last time we talked about varying the height. It's going to come in handy today as we try to get the club between our legs. So up and catch it between your legs. Okay, maybe back out again. Good, and now we're going to add in this the hardest step of going all the way around our back. So between the legs, now around the back, and all the way back out front again. All right? Hey, managed to get it done. So there you go. Keep working on those. Hopefully we'll see you back out here at Frost Creek.